Hi, eager mind! Before diving into Impansion, I'll tell you the story of this project. I've always been interested in the nature of reality, but my job as a bank clerk wasn't inspiring for that quest, so I resigned. But I also wanted to simplify my lifestyle, so I took a bicycle, a tent and a stove and began pedaling. After 7 months of adventures, I missed my family and friends, so I headed home again. I struggled against a raging wind when a pandemic confined me to a small fishing town. I had taken several notes for a fiction book, so I outlined the story on my room's wall and wondered how to finish the science fiction part. First, I needed a plausible, distant future for the universe. I revised the usual alternatives like the Big Rip or the Big Crunch, and noticed a subtle flaw. How can science tell the infinitely big from the infinitely small? In other words, how could we know if we exist outward or inward? I spent 4 months in my lovely Saharan town, testing Impansion against many scientific problems. When I returned home, I studied for a master's degree in philosophy of science, which confirmed my suspicions. Then I wanted to develop my approach as a PhD, but I found a problem. Academic chairs take the in and out idea very seriously. I needed a more relaxed context to make scientists imagine the unimaginable. So I spent another year writing the Impansion book, a journey around the limits of scientific thought. But then, how can a novel writer engage potential impanders to proofread such an unusual theory? Maybe some videos. So here we are. Impansion can help us in many ways, but first I invite you to watch the whole series with a child's heart. Please don't believe your role too much when you play Big Bangers and Impanders, just the right amount to enjoy the game. In the next video, I'll show you that science comes from a circular system of metaphors, like space is a container, time is an arrow, or stuff is what we touch. We usually believe that these ideas refer to some outer reality, but notice that out is one of these ideas. So metaphors make our experience, even the aspect we call physical. Bigger and smaller, older and younger, more or less massive, are just human concepts. See you soon!